Todd from the Table Ready podcast again, and I brought a friend, not only a friend, but a very close family member of mine. This is my youngest son, Michael. You probably know him, but he is our resident Tau expert.
I am. I
What do you have to say about the Tau? What makes you excited to play the Tau?
I like the modern designs of the Tau models and their armor and uh, mechs,
Awesome.
their the battle suits, if I may.
Yeah, that's exactly what they are. So as we're going to get into some of the items in this episode, um, what things do you want to bring up? Like what makes Tau so special for you?
I like their customizability.
Okay,
As it doesn't really matter how you paint your units as long as you like it. It's fine.
so you're not restricted to that um, the special legion or whatever.
Where it where an example of a team with a restriction is, say you want to paint your Blood Angels blue, you might get a few weird looks and a lot of confusion.
Right, but if you can paint your Tau pretty much any color you want. In fact, one of the best things that I like about Tau is, okay, first of all, it's that Gundam feel. If you're into Gundams at all and you really like that Japanese mech style of unit, I mean, the sharp angles. You got one of your models there handed over. Maybe like your Riptide, or I'm sorry, Ghost Kill.
A ghost.
Sorry. So this is a Ghost Kill. This is one of the bigger mechs, but certainly not the biggest mech. And of course, we're going to talk a little bit about the Ghost Kill.
Yeah.
But the nice thing is it's got that angular style. All their guns are kind of squared off and blunted. They're not like regular gun-looking rifles and stuff like that. And it really gives them a completely different feel from most of the rest of 40K, don't you think?
Yeah.
Like, they're not like demons. They're not like Space Marines. They're certainly not like KS or Eldar. They really have their own unique style. And of course, what we like to do in these episodes is we're going to take them from a combat patrol, like, because of course the first thing you want to do to get into most of these armies, the best way to really grab onto this game and start playing is to pick up a combat patrol, right?
Yes.
And of course we have. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
It is a mainly small army, which means, and they are relatively cheaper than getting the models on their own.
Right. So it's almost like a bonus box. So like when you buy your combat patrol for whatever army you want to start off with, you're going to get almost like the economy version of the troops. Well, whether you get you're paying for the troops, like in this case the breachers and the pathfinders, and you might actually end up with like a Ghost Kill as an extra item, which is actually like a $65 kit. Sometimes it's just a little bit, we'll get just like the captain or the librarian or whatever like that. But a lot of times you're getting a whole unit worth of extra stuff in just this basic unit. And when we did Tyranids, what I really leaned into was actually buying a second combat patrol box, whether you get it through the actual combat patrol or one of the starter boxes for 10th edition. That was a really good kit to just add right onto your unit, and it doubled your your models on the table instantly, and we still had room to play with. And of course, Tau's actually not a bad one to do the same thing with. In fact, Michael's going to do the older combat patrol, which is. Did you have a name on that one?
It was the onshore combat patrol.
Okay, that's the one with the ethereal and the cadre fireblade and the ghost keel, right? Which is
now it has a ghost keel, but when I got the box, it had crisis suits.
Okay. Well, that was even the older one.
Yeah.
So you actually did get it because that's when you got your ghost keel, was in the combat patrol box.
Mm.
So, like Mike, for example, he got the original Start Collecting box, which had the crisis suits, and the strike team, and a couple other items in there.
It had.
I see it sitting over there, but I can't quite make everything out.
Had a team of fire warriors. It had a few crisis suits and an ethereal.
Okay, so it was very similar to the next generation, which had that one had a strike team, right? Fire warriors, which could be a strike team or breachers, and then it had stealth suits and ghost keel, which was an amazing box for what it was. I picking that one up was a good box.
Yeah. One slight issue I have with playing the Tau is if you don't like painting infantry, I wouldn't exactly recommend it because every single unit you will get, there will be drones to come with them.
Okay, right. So that's one of the big things that you're definitely going to see in the Tau. In fact, drones used to be their own unit, and every drone that was in the Tau units used to actually have its own rules, right?
Yeah.
So but now they're a little more specialized. They're a little more separated. So what they actually do now is a lot of times they're a marker for a rule that the unit has. So like shield drones, when you have a shield drone, you get the benefit of having a shield drone, and if something happens, you can remove that. The ghost keel has two. What do they call those? They're not stealth. Are they stealth drones?
Yeah,
they're stealth drones. You get two stealth drones, and those are actually markers that you can remove while you're when they take damage or whatever. Marker light drones are the same thing. You got a marker light drone in your hand, and just to show, it looks like it has a single gun, but that gives the marker light rule to whatever unit it's equipped to.
I am slightly disappointed on the new drones because the old drones they had their, like, a gunner drone could shoot, or it could take a strong hit from a creature, potentially saving your models.
Correct. And that's still there. I believe so.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I'd have to really look into that. I'm not a Tau player per se, but I kind of pushed Mike in the direction so that he could get his stuff going and working out.
Yeah, with the change, though, it does prevent you from freely choosing which drones each unit gets.
Correct. So they did specialize it a little bit. So, but what do you think about how they changed the army rule for Tau, so that now you don't have to guide with all the separate units? I mean, I think that's a pretty amazing new rule. it completely changes the army, and I think it makes it so much more functional.
Oh yeah, I believe the original rule was where it you could mark you could mark one guy but only for one unit.
Correct.
You could mark one unit, but the only that one unit that you choose in your team has it as a bonus against it.
Correct.
Where now it's pretty much the same, but the entire team has a bonus against it.
Right. So now instead of spotting for another unit, you're just spotting an enemy on the battlefield. So everybody that can see that unit can now shoot it. Oops, sorry. Can now shoot it. Ooh, I almost fell out of my chair. So excited about talking about Tau, even though I'm wearing my Eldar shirt. So, what we're going to do, if you're ready, is let's talk about combat patrols. So, Michael's going to go over and he did the last edition of the combat patrol. Can you tell us what was in the combat patrol altogether?
In the combat patrol, there was Cadre Fireblade, an ethereal which is your warlord. Cadre Fireblade is connected to your strike team, which I actually believe is supposed to be 5 breachers and 5 strike teams.
Well, it's supposed to be a strike team, but it's 5 carbines and 5 pulse rifles.
5 carbines and 5 pulse rifles.
Which is weird because it's not really an option you have in the normal things, but you can do 5-man squads, right? No, you can't do 5-man squads.
No, you cannot. I don't believe you can.
So you would actually need a second unit in order to make that.
Yeah. They also include the Ghost Keel battlesuit, which is I'll explain it later. And these stealth battlesuits.
Right. And the stealth battlesuits have actually gotten a little love in 10th edition, so that's a nice rule for them, a nice upgrade in 10th edition. So the next thing that we're going to talk about, what did you want to add to that now that you got that in there? Now that you've picked all the stuff from the combat patrol, what would you add to make it approximately 1,000 points?
Starting with I would add a team of breachers to start.
Okay.
So you can have the short range, high amount of shots guys,
mm-hmm.
and the long range, low amount of shots.
Right. That gives you 2 units of infantry for capturing objectives, doing missions, stuff like that. And the strike team's nice because you can kind of plant them somewhere, and they have a little bit longer range so that they can shoot out from wherever they're stuck in. The breachers, on the other hand, are shorter range, so you want them advancing and getting into, I don't want to say getting into trouble because it very well could happen, but they're still Tau. They're still not great at close combat, but they're essentially like shotguns. So you get a lot more shots the farther out, the closer in you go. You can. They have their special rule. What's the special rule on the breachers? I had it on the tip of my tongue and now I lost it. They have the. What is it? Breach and clear. Which means each time a model in this unit makes a ranged attack that targets an enemy unit within the range of an objective marker, you can re-roll the wound roll. Yeah, So their intention is to get on those objectives that somebody else took, and to take them back, through sheer firepower, not through, sword and shield or something like that. So, yeah, they're definitely worthwhile to take those objectives. All right, and what else did you put in there?
I added a second ethereal. I also would say swap your Cadre Fireblade over to the Breachers, as
Okay,
he also has a short range gun.
I can agree with that. I think that would be a good match.
And then I'd put your Warlord Ethereal uh, with your strike team, so it doesn't die. It's
Okay,
kind of an obvious choice.
right.
So
All right. So what else did you do after that?
onto the other data sheets, I added some crisis suits. It doesn't matter which ones you choose.
What do you mean it doesn't matter? It just because
Well,
pick your flavor, or now they do have different point prices.
yeah, the Sunforge are the most expensive, and I believe the uh, so what were they? The Void Scythe or something?
The fire knife.
There's the Fire Knife and the Star Scythe.
Yeah, Star Scythe. There you
The
go.
Star Scythe is the cheapest, but I'm assuming doesn't have as good weapons
The
or rules.
Sun Scythe has or Star Scythe. I'm sorry. Star Scythe has the burst cannons.
Yeah.
So they're 24-inch range, 4 shots, strength 5, but 0 AP.
And you get 3 of the crisis suits.
Yeah.
I
Those also have. Those are the ones that have the flamers too, which is not bad. The 18-inch flamer, that's actually a pretty decent
the
defense.
the Sunforged crisis suits though, they have they have pretty much melta guns,
Yeah.
which from other teams is very much proven to be a really powerful gun.
Right. They're fusion blasters in the Tau though, right?
Yeah, fusion blasters.
Yeah. All right.
Hold on.
That's okay.
I would add a Piranha for its firepower, as it can. I believe it can move around quickly.
A Piranha's pretty quick. Yeah. It's almost like kind of like an attack bike or an invader ATV, or even like a Eldar Viper.
You can have a team up to 3 piranhas, but I only have 1. So
Would you recommend to somebody to have more than one?
I probably would, as they are quite strong units, and I believe they might. If I look at their data sheet, oh,
I think the Piranhas are little light tanks.
yeah, they're light tanks.
There it is.
To have 3 in a swarm.
Yeah, and a squadron, I guess.
Squadron.
So the nice thing is you can have the Piranha burst cannon, which is a 24-inch range, 4 shots. The nice thing about this burst cannon over most of the others is it does have a -1 armor penetration. The twin pulse carbines, which are basically the drones that are in the wings.
Yeah.
And that really helps. The fact that there's 2 of them, so that's 4 more shots at strength 5. They also act as twin linked, and they're assault weapons, which is kind of amazing because this thing has a 14-inch move and can still advance and shoot.
Yeah, and
not with all its weapons, but at least with the pulse carbines. So, I mean, it does have a threat range of I mean, you could go 20 plus another 26 inches. That's a 46-inch range, threat range.
Yeah, and one of its abilities is that at the end of your movement phase, you can select one enemy unit within 12 inches. They must take a battle shock test.
And that's always helpful. I mean, you never know when you're going to grab an objective from somebody over something goofy like that.
Yeah.
So, all right, what else did you put in your list after the piranhas? Or single piranha in this case.
I had also placed and I believe this. Oh, this ain't my final one. I placed a broadside battle suit.
Broadside battle suit's a beautiful choice. And why did you do that? And what weapon did you pick? Yeah. Ooh, words are hard sometimes. Would you go with the missile pods or the heavy rail rifle?
I chose the heavy rail rifle for the.
Love it.
The 66-inch range.
And strength 12.
Strength 12.
And if he stands still, he's got +1 to hit. And if he's got, and on top of all that, he only has 2 shots, but he does have devastating wounds. So there's that extra bonus of doing a little bit extra damage. But it really doesn't need to rely on the devastating wounds. That
has an AP
60-inch range. Oh, I know why they're coming up with weird numbers, because I picked the experimental protocol cadre. That's why it's getting extra 6 inches.
Yeah, that's
my bad. So it has 60 inches, which is still, I mean, you can shoot from one end of the table to the other.
Yeah. It also has an AP -4, so if anything doesn't have a not devastated. What's it called?
If it does have an invulnerable save?
If it doesn't have an invulnerable save, then if it has a 3-up and an invulnerable and no invulnerable save, then it can't save.
Right. It's pretty much toast.
And it deals a D6 +1 damage.
Yeah, which is amazing.
For each shot.
Right. So what next after that? It gets secondary weapons, missiles or plasma rifles.
I believe I chose the missiles.
Yeah, I like the missiles too. 30-inch range, indirect fire, twin linked. They're not real strong, but they do what they need to do. I kind of lean that way too. Though plasma rifles are not a bad choice. 18-inch range, twin linked. Strength 8, -3 with 3 damage. That's pretty amazing too. It really depends on which way you want to go with this thing. If you want it to be just a purely dedicated tank hunting thing, or if you really want it to just spread its love around.
Yeah. And this thing can have, like the piranhas, it can have a unit of up to 3 of them, I believe.
Correct. You can have up to 3 broadsides if you want to. And you only picked 1 though, right?
Yeah, as I only have 1.
Okay. Well, this is kind of wish listing, so this is kind of what would you recommend to somebody that was trying to upgrade their?
I kind of thought this as more of out of my
that's okay.
Experience.
Yeah, I mean, you bought Tau. So really, you have the actual knowledge of, hey, I bought the units that I wanted, and they worked out the way I wanted them to.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Anything else after the broadside?
I would like to add that more than one broadside would be a pretty lethal attack. Pretty lethal set of things.
Okay, so let's talk about that for just a second. So when we're looking at a broadside, right, we're looking at a single unit, toughness 6, 8 wounds, right? 2-up save. This thing is hard to shift on its own. It doesn't have an invulnerable save, but it does have feel no pain.
4-up, which
right, only against mortal wounds, but still, you have a 6 toughness, so this thing is going to shrug off small arms fire with no problem whatsoever.
Yeah.
You know, that 2-up save, 8 wounds. This thing's should, unless something's just gunning specifically to take it down, it should last. Now add another one, and then maybe another one. And they're only 90 points apiece. So you're talking for under 100 points, you're getting 8 wounds. Again, like the toughness 6, toughness 6 is a little low, but it is going to shrug off that small arms fire. Your melted guns are going to be hard against it. But at a 60-inch range with a 12 strength on it, how many things are really going to want to poke their nose out? You're not going to send tanks against this thing. It's going to take them out well before they get there.
This is probably an extremely good tank killer, as with its heavy rail rifle.
Right.
As really good stats, which I don't think many things have a toughness higher than 12 or equal to 12, actually.
No, I mean, you're talking las cannon strength to get 12 or above. There's some battle cannons, stuff like that, but really, I mean, you're talking about the high grade weapons to get that high. So
this is on a 90-point unit.
This is on a 90-point unit. So I don't know that I would go with 3 until you get up to like a 2,000-point army, and I don't even know if you would then, in my personal opinion. But I could definitely see at 2,000 points you could have 2 of these in a unit, and just 4 strength 12 shots. You know, you're going to stand still. Obviously, you're going to have whatever they're shooting at be guided. So now you're at a 2+ to hit.
Yeah.
If whatever's guiding them has marker lights, they ignore cover.
Yeah.
So this is a good unit to take down tanks, and for 2 of them at less than 200 points, sweet. That's why I don't like playing Tau. Against Tau. All right. Anything after that? Anything after the broadsides?
Finally, my one last final thing, I'm going to add a devilfish, which I will place my breachers into.
Good choice.
As the devilfish can drive up to any like objective or infantry unit,
right,
and then drop off the breachers to just send a whole bunch of shots into.
Yep. And of course, the best thing about the devilfish is it does have the rapid deployment rule, which means it can advance and still drop units off. And it does so only like they moved a normal move, not an advancement. So that's definitely a big push for them, because dropping those breachers exactly where you need to drop them, and then they can still shoot and do their thing. It's amazing. That's such a good combination. All right. And what did you end up with? 990 points?
Yeah.
So
that's exactly what I
had. That's a good thing. I think that's a good solid army. And to be honest with you, I'm going to tell you, I went with the newer combat patrol, and I'm going to get into that in just a second. But my list doesn't look all that much different from yours.
I think you're missing 50 points.
Well, I am missing a couple points because I wanted a little bit of a change. But we're going to leave that open, and that would be like one of those you could add enhancements for those points. You could maybe sub into something else. To be honest with you, I mean, I ended up being 940 points. I could easily drop one thing to pick up something else. But I really wanted to play with some different stuff. But actually, let's do this. So let's delete that. And we'll go into. Actually, they're a little cheaper than I thought they were. Look at that. I
Yeah.
only gained 5 points.
A strike team's only 75 points.
Yeah. All right.
For
So we can do that, and actually we'll add watching it in real time. $9.95, baby. $9.95. Okay. So what I started with was the newer combat patrol, and you actually you get a commander in a cold star suit or a enforcer battle suit. My preference, I went with the cold star suit for no other reason than I kind of like the look of it.
good point.
I just like the way it looks a little bit better than the enforcer one. Other than that, there's no real reason for it. I don't know enough about it. The nice thing is that he only really he can lead or be attached to crisis battle suits. So, of course, I'll get into that in a minute. But so you have the Cold Star battle suit, and I think for the combat patrol, he can actually be attached to the Pathfinder team. So there's a Pathfinder team, and of course, I would deck them out to the max, just the way they should be. Let me what is it? The semi-automatic grenade launcher, decent weapon. Not real exciting. I mean, it's a grenade launcher. It does have anti-vehicle 4-up. That's kind of the bonus of it. So, and that gets a nice assortment of drones. Not going to go real into it. If you want a Pathfinder team, I think the best thing to do is you're really going to put a marker light drone in there. Wait, did I have a mark? Yeah, you're going to put a marker light drone in there, and they're going to spend a lot of time observing.
One drone you can have, which I kind of see him as the weirdest shaped and the slightly funniest looking, is I believe this is the recon drone.
Yep.
It's very tall. It has a big tube under it.
It's very tall and long, and it has a gun weirdly a burst cannon weirdly in the middle of it.
I think it's stuck. The burst cannon.
That's okay.
It's fine. It's also the biggest drone that you can get.
Yeah, I think it is. So that's really a neat drone. I like that. Let me pull my list back up here real quick. So the next thing that's in there, of course, is a breacher team. At this point in 10th edition 40K, if you're not playing a Tau army if you don't have a breacher team in there. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you're not. Sorry.
It's okay.
Whoops.
And of course, what was the other thing? Oh, you get a devilfish. So you're going to be putting those breachers into the devilfish, and that's the combat patrol. It's the Cold Star commander, the devilfish, the breachers, and the pathfinders.
Yeah.
So it's only 4 units, but most of the combat patrols are right around that anyway. So, all right. So what I added in there, and of course I'll tell you about what I changed real quick here. What I added was a strike team, and what I would do with that is add Cadre Fireblade in with them. That makes that just one more infantry unit that you can run around with. Or more specifically, you really want to I would take those pulse rifles, plant them on a home field objective, something like that. Make them do your home field work. So if somebody drops down near you, you have 10 pulse rifles. And if you're not aware, pulse rifles are 30-inch range. They're only one shot, but they do have rapid fire. So, and as soon as you hit that mid-range, that half range, suddenly you have 2 shots on each of those pulse rifles. And the nice thing is, if you're not going to shoot with them, they can be an observer and guide your other units. So they're not specifically nasty. I would definitely put a marker light drone in with them. And they, of course, they do get that DS8 turret if they stand still, which gives them some extra shots. Right?
Yeah. What is suppression volley?
Oh, they do have the suppression volley. In your shooting phase, after this unit is shot, select one enemy infantry unit hit by one or more of these attacks. Until the start of the next turn, while the unit is on the battlefield, the enemy unit is suppressed. While a unit is suppressed, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, subtract 1 to the hit roll. So that is a bonus. That's also a good bonus to split fire with them, because if you can hit 2 different squads, you can kind of pick which unit you want to suppress.
Yeah, and you have to realize it says hit. It doesn't mean wound or...
That's right. It just says hit. So all you got to do is, out of your 10 or 20 attacks, depending on what you have, all you need to do is land one of them, 1-4 up. And or then, 3 or better if you're guiding them.
And then the entire unit
has -1 to hit.
For their turn.
For their turn.
It's not really good if you go on turn 2, though. Or if you go on the second round. Well,
yeah.
It's probably
because it would be your turn and into their turn.
It would probably, yeah. It's going to be until their next turn,
right.
I guess.
So the next thing that I added was 6 stealth battle suits. I like the stealth suits. I'm a big fan of them. I like the way they look. Oh, yeah. I like the fact that you can throw 2 with fusion blasters in with your burst cannon guys, and it just really mixes them up a little bit so they can deal with other problems. And I also like they do have infiltrators as well as stealth, so they're harder to hit. And of course, those fusion blasters do have the melter rule.
I had forgotten to mention something. I did add 3 more stealth suits to my army.
Oh, okay. That's a good choice, because I like the 6-man stealth squad.
I've heard from people that a 6-man squad is much better than a 3-man.
Yeah. And again, they have the forward observer rule, so each time the unit is an observer unit, until the end of the phase, each time a ranged attack is made by a model in a guided unit against their spotted unit, you get to reroll hits of 1 and wound rolls of 1.
I'd say that's a pretty good thing. A pretty good ability.
I think it's amazing. I think that's, again, they kind of fit in one of those, why wouldn't you do it? And of course, if you really want to be cagey with these guys, you can use the rapid ingress stratagem for 0 CP, and then the target must be set up within 3 inches of the bearer. So they act as a homing beacon to something that's deep striking.
Yeah.
And with rapid ingress, you bring them down on the end of your opponent's movement phase.
Yeah, that's real good.
Yeah. So we like those. We like stealth suits. They are scary things. What else did I add? After that, I picked a broadside heavy rail rifle. Love that thing to death.
Great choice.
Yep. I also added a ghost keel because, again, that ghost keel is just such an amazing model.
Why not?
It gets the 2 stealth drones, which is nice because the stealth drones, basically you can allocate damage to them instead of the ghost keel, and make the damage characteristic 0 for a hit against them. Twice in a game. So if you didn't catch that, that's 2 times you can say, oh, you rolled 7 wounds to my ghost keel, and I say, nope, you hit a stealth drone.
Yeah. And I believe it can take all the attacks from...
Yes, it turns the damage characteristic to 0. So...
Oh, it just says 1 attack.
Twice per battle, after an attack has been allocated to this model, you can change the damage characteristic of that attack to 0. So 2 times you can do that.
So,
And on top of that, it has infiltrator, it has lone up, and it has stealth.
I was going to mention this. I was going to do like a unit overview after explaining our armies, but
That's okay.
I'm going
Go
to
into it
explain
now.
it now. Lone Operative is amazing for this guy because if you look at the weapons, it has uh, with it has two weapons. One is 18-inch range, but with our detachment it has 24-inch range.
Right.
And it has Melta 2.
Right.
Uh,
So we can actually, you have actually the fusion blasters on there.
Oh yeah.
So the fusion blasters. So he's got the fusion collider, right? You have the fusion collider.
I believe. Yeah.
Or do you have the ion raker?
I think I have the ion raker.
So the ion raker is longer range. That's 42-inch range.
Oh, wait. Maybe not then. I don't.
No, you have the fusion blaster.
Yeah, I have the fusion blaster.
Okay, so let's close that. You have the fusion collider. So the fusion collider, which is a 24-inch range.
I was going to explain that. It's a 24-inch range, 2 attacks, 4 better, strength 12, an AP minus 4, and a D6 damage with Melta 2.
Right.
That's really good if you ask me.
Right. And to be honest with I picked the experimental prototype cadre as my detachment, so you do get the longer range. The great part about that is I like the fusion blasters in the Tau army, and giving them an extra 6 inches of range also gives them an extra 3 inches of Melta range.
How long is Melta range?
Half your range.
Oh, so if I'm in half range, 12 inches, which means you really don't want to get in that 12 inches, but you need to for lone operative.
Right.
You really don't want to, because if you don't manage to kill this thing, you are going to get roasted like a turkey on Thanksgiving.
Right. So yeah, and the thing is, no slouch. It's not great in close combat, but it's no slouch. It does have 3 attacks,
and then
with a 6 strength.
And then the twin fusion blasters, which normally have a 12-inch range, which means more shots within the lone operative range. That's always good.
Right.
As a 1 attack, 4 better. It's twin linked. It's twin linked to 1 attack, 4 better, strength 9, AP minus 4, and a D6 damage, and it has Melta 2.
Right. And if you don't want the fusion blaster, I mean, the downfall of the fusion blaster is it's 1 shot. But I like the theme of using the Melta. But you do have a choice between burst cannons or just throwing flamers on there. Because even a flamer is an 18 with the experimental prototype is an 18-inch range flamer, and it's twin linked. So you don't even need to be within that 12-inch lone op bubble in order to get your shots off. That's the best part of it.
Yeah. No, I would say that no weapon is a bad choice for most things.
I would agree with that, because I mean the flamers are a great choice for defense. If something does come in and wants to charge you, you can just blast it with flamers. You overwatch with flamers. If you take the burst cannon, it's 4 extra shots. It's pretty good anti-infantry. And if you go with the Meltas, they're good anti-tank weapons.
And with the stealth, it makes it even harder to kill the thing, because first of all, you need to be in within 12 inches of range, and you get a -1 to hit.
Right.
I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's what stealth.
That's what stealth does. Yes. And the other thing that not a lot of people use, but this is especially particular to the ghost keel, is it does have the smoke keyword, so you can use the smoke stratagem with it.
Oh, what does the smoke stratagem do?
Oh, hold on, I will look it up.
Oh yeah, this thing can use its heavy guns while in close combat, as it is a vehicle.
Right. So let me check here real quick.
It can also fly.
It does fly, so that means it can blast up into different areas. You don't have to climb up mountainsides or something like that. So hold on real quick. Let me see if I can find this. That's in Core Rules, I believe. Anyway, I know you can. Actually, let's do this. Let's go into here. Go into here. Go down to here. And where's smoke? Smoke screen. So smoke screen, you use that in your opponent's shooting phase just after it declares a target. One smoke unit from your army that is selected from the attacking unit. Until the end of the phase, all units in your model have the benefits of cover and the stealth ability. So you automatically have stealth, but now you also have the benefits of cover too.
At this point, it's better to try not to kill this thing and more of survive it.
Right. Just kind of stay away from it. So, all right. So what else do I got? I put in Crisis Fire Knife battle suits. Those are the ones with the missile pods. You can switch those over to the plasma rifles, which I probably would, just because I like the plasma better than the missile pods. But the missile pods are fine. The missile pods are, if you don't know, they are 30-inch range, 2 shots, strength 7, AP -1 for 2 damage. Not a bad choice. The plasma rifles, if you prefer that, is only 1 shot, which is the downfall of it, but it's strength 8 with a -3 AP and 3 damage. So either way works good. The missile pods are fine. The plasma rifle's fine. Everything's fine.
And you can't forget that in every crisis suit unit, you have to have at least 3.
Right, you do have 3 of them. And then you also have 2 drones. Or is it 2 drones each? I think it's 2 drones each.
Yeah, 2 drones for each dude. That's good.
Yeah. So you can have
good.
A marker, a gun, a couple gun drones, and a shield drone. And I did mention shield drones. Shield drones just add a wound to the guy. So crisis suits, they do start out with, where's there? Oh, they're there. Toughness 5 with 4 wounds. Throwing a shield drone in there, that gives them an extra wound. So they'd be 5 toughness, 5 wounds.
Or it could be 5 toughness, 6 wounds. It could.
Oh yeah, you could do 2 shield drones.
Since each of them get 2. I wouldn't exactly recommend it, but go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to really think that one through. I'd have to weigh that out in a couple fights and see how that works out.
Yeah.
And of course, the last thing. That is the last thing. That's everything. Go ahead.
You say what you want.
So that's my full force. 2 characters, the commander and the Cold Star, the Cadre Fireblade, Breacher team, Striker team, Pathfinder team, 6 stealth battle suits, a broadside, 3 crisis fire knives, and of course, just remember that Cold Star commanders going with them, the Ghost Keel, and then the Devilfish for those breachers. I think that's a pretty solid 1,000-point list.
I might want to get some crew eventually because well, they're supposed to be the melee of the Tau, which, as you can tell, it's very lacking on.
Yeah, there's a lot of shooting in this. This is a sci-fi army through and through. If you did go, let's see, so crew carnivores are actually pretty cheap. They're 65 points each. If you really wanted to throw them in, they're not a bad choice. My hardest point of playing the crew is I don't think they do enough for what they do.
Yeah, they're supposed to be all the melee and strong dudes, but they're honestly they. I believe you said that they were initially melee, but then they slowly deteriorated into just all ranged.
Right.
Just like the rest of the army.
Yeah, and it does seem that way. And they haven't changed much. I think the biggest lacking is they are a 3 toughness. They do have a 6 save. They do move faster with the 7-inch range. But really, I mean, their main weapon is still a rifle, the Crute rifle. So, I mean, the nice thing is they're 1 shot, but they're 4 better to hit, strength 4, 1 damage. They're rapid fire. There's just nothing overly impressive. They just have close combat weapons. 2 attacks. They do hit on a 3 or better, which definitely helps them out, but strength 4, no AP, 1 damage. There's just not a lot of love there. The Farstalkers are the ones that have the Crew Hounds. The Crew Hounds are a little bit better in close combat. 3 attacks, 3 or better to hit, but they're still only 3 strength. Actually, they're not as good at close combat. They're only 3 strength.
Yeah, I would like to make a slight joke about the crew, as the crew are the direct definition of you are what you eat.
Oh,
as
definitely.
In lore, the entirety of them is that they eat things and then gain the traits of them.
And then they evolve into something different. So the cool thing is, like, your typical, in the lore, your typical carnivore is your basic, that's where they start out. That's your basic plebe, whatever you want to call it. And then if he eats something that's fast, they turn into beasts. They turn into Crute Hounds. Like, Crute Hounds are actually Crute carnivores.
All Crute is the same species, even though it might not look like it.
Right. I mean, I just got to say, if I'm going to go that way, I'm definitely going to become a Crute Rampager. Because those guys are pretty beefy. I mean, that's probably the best place to get your major close combat attacks.
Yeah.
They do have the Crute that ride the Crute Rampagers. Have hunting blades, which actually have -1 AP, and they have the lance rules, so they are actually pretty decent. And then the Rampagers themselves, 4 attacks, hits on 3 or better, strength 6, -1 for 2 damage. They do have extra, well, they have extra attacks because they attack at the same time as the blades, but they also have sustained hits. So really not a bad unit, but they're 85 points for 1. I don't know. Just not loving it. Crutox are the same way. They're a little bit bigger. Of course, those are the ones with the repeater cannons on their backs. So they do have a 36-inch range on those things for 2 shots. Strength 7. But again, I feel like personally, you're taking out. Well, they are cheap.
I am not.
I guess that's the point. They're only 40 points for a Crutox.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Crute in general, as they aren't all that interesting. They're kind of not. They have slight melee features. They are slightly better in melee, but not by a lot.
Right. I feel the same way. Like they're so close to being good, you know? Like I feel like they just need that just a little bit of love to really push them over the edge. So
It's kind of the same with the Vespid Stingwings. I do like their models a lot.
oh, as far as an upgrade, because those old Vespids were ugly looking.
I have not seen the old ones, but I probably don't want to.
Oh, let's see if I can pull it up here real quick. So those are the new ones.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find the old ones. There's the old ones.
Oh dear. They are much smaller and
They're very goofy looking.
they're not as skinny.
And they look like,
They're also short.
well, I mean, the guy's that one's standing on a rock, so he's not really that much bigger. But them wings are ugly. So again, I don't want to beat a dead horse on these because I mean the new ones are just chef's kiss. I wish they were a little more usable. Just my personal opinion.
Yeah, I would love to design them. I do like how the Tau have three different kinds of models, so you do. There is the good part about, I get to make three different color schemes, and then there's the other part of, I get to make three different color. I have to make three different color schemes.
They are a painter's love, that's for sure.
You can be very creative with them. They don't all have to be the same color schemes, though, as in the app. They're in the Warhammer app. They show many different colors of them. As I believe there are some factions with the colors, but if you look at the Sky Ray, there's these like camo blue and gray, which I do not believe is one of the
different Tau Seps.
Seps. I'm not sure though.
I'm not. Hold on. So like, there are, and excuse me while I'm typing here. So we'll pull up images. So like this and this. There you go. So there is.
It's a very light color scheme.
They have ones like this, which are the shadow gray with the almost camo look.
Yeah, but
these don't actually have the names on them. Darn.
They don't, but we'll do.
That one's got a camo scheme too.
Yeah, but
I don't. I mean, either which way, the cool thing about the Tau is you can really go as plain. Like you can run. I mean, the standard color Tau color is white on black bodysuit.
Yeah.
Or white armor, white and black, and very little color. You could have that ochre color that is the. I don't know all the subs. I'm not gonna lie. The different sub factions. I do like the purple ones. And I like that you're doing yours in that purple color now.
Yeah,
Oh, here they are. Actually, they're here. Borkan is turquoise. Taun is gray. Tau is white. Yellow is the Kale Shen.
That did say this is from the 6th edition book.
Right. Endras is black. Toku is green.
It does not mention the Farsight Enclave.
Right. Well, I guess that's one thing to talk about with Tau, right?
Yeah.
Because when you're talking different paint schemes and stuff like that, there is one caveat to all that, to everything Tau related, and that is Farsight does not play well with others.
Yeah. I believe... I don't even think you can get an ethereal if you have...
No ethereals, because Farsight broke off from the normal Tau.
Which means I think he can be...
He doesn't use any best bids or crew, and he has a very large distaste for ethereals and the whole ethereal cast.
Which means I don't think you can I think you can only have one, maybe two characters.
Well, there's only one. Well, I mean, technically, if you go back in the editions, the council, they were the Council of Eight. Anyway, they were the eight.
The eight.
They were the eight, and Farsight was the leader of the eight, and which is basically is a neat concept because it's like one of each type of battle suit as a character, and then all crammed into one unit. Now the unit was like 1,200 points or something like that.
Yeah, it
was a lot if you had all of them together, but it's a little ridiculous.
Could probably. I believe I may have looked at the 8 recently, but I can't recall what's actually in the 8.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of.
Could maybe pull up a picture.
It's okay. It's okay. So, all right. Anything else you want to add to Tau before we get out of here?
I really like the army. I am trying to paint if you are curious, I'm painting them in a purple and yellow color scheme.
Very cool. Very cool. Right?
Yeah.
And you are changing from what was a red color scheme with a light blue
gun color
add-ons, right?
Yeah.
As we grow up a little bit, we get our colors. We get the love for new things and making things look nicer.
Yeah, I think I kind of went to colors that my younger self thought looked nice, but not so much anymore.
Right. So, all right. Well, I guess that's it. I think we're probably real close to our hour mark. Anything else you want to say before we sign off? Where can they find Michael if they want to see him on YouTube?
If you want to see me on YouTube, you can go to Lake Clan Legends.
Right? And we're on there every Sunday?
Every Sunday.
Yep.
Hopefully.
If you are watching this and you are thinking about tuning in on Sunday for Lake Clan Legends, we're not sure what we're going to do because Logan's not going to be here. He's going to be on a special mission. But we're table ready painting. I am. He is sometimes. And we're here to help you and your models become table ready. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.